Okay, this is my VK28.01, and it is basically a scout tank. This is the first run I've done with this tank in over 3 years, since I've come back. My plan was run up here in the middle, do a little spotting, scouting, spot some targets for others. Glad some of the openings hadn't changed. Some of the maps really did change. A little trickier to get this tank through that opening than I anticipated. But out of habit, I made a noise, if you will. Made a distortion. Freeze, hold back, flick back. Anyone see that? I'm not sure if quite the same visual rules are in place. But as I said, I was planning to come down here doing some spotting and scouting. If memory serves me correctly, in the old days, you'd kind of come in here in the middle, try to do some spotting, but you had to keep moving and you had to keep your head down, and it required your friendly teammates to be helping to cover you, because if somebody tries to come in and get around you, they'd expose themselves to their fire. So you kind of bait them out a little bit as well. And see if I can get some sniping shots off from in the middle. What really kind of surprised me is I wasn't seeing anyone else. I think the bulk of the team swung around to the other side of the river on our left side, leaving just some people there on the hill, because that's about all I really saw. Get a few more shots off. Nothing stellar performance, but this particular mech, being a tier 6, it's still low, but I'm the scout, so I don't have to have the big firepower. With the scouting and spotting, I was really surprised I wasn't taking more fire. It's like, does no one know I'm here? I'm scouting in the middle. Hello? Again, in the old days, that hill would have at least 2 people watching this town. Guns trained down. So I don't know if this is just an off match. They don't really do that anymore. The sight mechanics are been modified, and that type of application isn't as vital. Don't know. So I am cautiously looking. I advance a little. I'm probably playing this more cautious than I really need to, but I am, first time back, 3 years. Been practicing on some of the tier 1s and 2s and 3s. A few of the larger ones I ran, but I thought, let's try this guy out, see if he's still worth having. I don't have a lot of friendlies covering me. It doesn't help my confidence. But I'm really surprised I'm not riding into more. So adventure up. Stayed in cover. My personal preference, I like to either have a faster tank maneuvering around. If you've watched my other videos for MechWarrior Online, I do the same basic philosophy of high speed, high firepower. Or I like to sit back with a long-range gun, artillery, or tank destroyer and do some sniping. Let's put some shots on this guy, see if he does anything. And my gun won't hurt him. I can try. Let's create a diversion, distract him. Hide, hide! Look away! So, with him watching that, I am going to try to scout around the other side. I know there's some enemies there, since I have not been destroyed so far. One feature I really do like in this game is the lock. You lock on a target and your turret will automatically follow. The only reason I lived through this is he was still reloading. At this point, I do not want to get in front of him. I'm hoping I'm faster than his rate of turn, basically. What's going to give out first? My transmission or his hit points? Somebody else helped. I don't mind. You don't hear all the accusations now with the community about kill stealing. I remember back in the day, if you shot a tank somebody else was fighting, they'd be screaming bloody murder because you're nothing but a kill thief. It's like, you were fighting. I thought you might die, so I'd save you. People are funny. At any rate, now we'll do one with the AMX-12. I also did one with the T-50, but I can't find that video. I thought I recorded it. Here I'm basically going to run around on the flank and test it. See how this is going. I will say I've not noticed with the teams that they usually either clumped up in one mass or they'd scatter off wherever and be a bunch of, as my wife would say, ironclad cowboys. But I'm basically doing the same strategy here, run off in these buildings and try to do some sniping. Just I'm off on the flank. Usually on this map I prefer city. Overall I like city fighting. A lot of buildings to move around and maneuver. Or hills and mountains. Just across with all games. Battletech, Mech Warrior, Mech Warrior Dark Age, Axis and Allies Miniatures, the list goes on. I like a lot of terrain to work with. But I am seeing overall with the teams, they seem to be covering the flanks. They don't like either just do flank and leave the center open or vice versa. I can't, well of course these are always public matches so you don't really have a coordinated team effort. But I have noticed that, which is a good thing. Emboldened by the fact that I'm still alive, I advance. Try to see if I can get some shots, but there's some blocking terrain. So we'll keep pressing this flank. Careful not to run over any trees that will give away my position. I love it when I do this shot, killing them just as their gun is lifting to my position. You know, the drama, the excitement. But at this point, the flank seems pretty well open. The player hasn't loaded in. His mighty tier 9, there's nothing I can do to him. Somebody took a shot at me. Don't see anything over there. Try to take some cover. See if I can just at least get some hits on target. Might be able to do something to this vehicle after all, we'll never know. Something over there fired at me. Somebody's clearly trying to take some shots on me. I'm not quite sure where they are at this point. But I got this nice big lump of metal to hide behind. So glad he volunteered for that position. Try a few other shots off in the distance. This is a really nice tank for this type of maneuvering fight. I believe it was actually designed with the role of hit-and-run raids being planned if Russia were to invade France, or Europe specifically. They do those types of hit-and-run raids to harass and slow down a invading force. Don't know if that's really true, but that's what I've heard. Again, taking cover, slide around the back side, knock over a tree, not that I meant to, but at least at this position nobody will see it. There is an enemy over there. At this point, who's going to die first? Because one shot from him probably... And there I go. So, basically some runs. So far I'm giving the game a clean bill of health. I'm not seeing anything super irritating from the governor or anything. So, we'll see. Alright, game on.